If you've been scrolling through endless lists of portable projectors, watching YouTube after hours, and still feel like you're stuck in a loop of which one actually works for my living room or backyard, you're not alone. The market is crowded, the marketing jargon is loud, and the fear of ending up with a dim, washed-out image that only looks good in a demo room is real. That hesitation is exactly why I'm doing this deep dive, so you can walk away knowing whether the Hisense M2 Pro is the projector that finally makes sense for you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of spaces where a portable projector lives and breathes. I've set up a couple of devices in a small apartment, a suburban living room, and even a patio with a simple white sheet. The key variables that keep popping up are ambient light, throw distance, and the type of content you plan to watch. The M2 Pro promises a 65 to 200-inch image, and 1300 ANSI Lumens, which on paper looks like a sweet spot for most casual setups. In my own test, the projector performed comfortably in a dimly lit living room with the lights off, delivering a clear, vibrant picture that felt more like a mini theater than a backyard novelty. When I tried it in a room with a typical kitchen ceiling light on, the image stayed bright enough to read subtitles, but the contrast dropped noticeably. That's a trade-off you'll notice with any projector in that brightness tier. If you want true cinema darkness, you'll still need to control the room lighting. The triple laser light source is the headline that sets this model apart from the usual LED or single laser alternatives. Because 3 lasers combine to create the primary colors, the color accuracy feels richer, especially in scenes with deep blues or saturated reds. Watching a nature documentary with a rainforest scene, the greens popped in a way that made me feel like I was actually standing under the canopy. That's the kind of AI-powered color enhancement that Hisense markets, and in practice it does add a little extra life compared to a flat-panel TV at the same size. However, the laser system also means the unit runs a bit hotter than a pure LED projector, so you'll hear a low hum after about half an hour of continuous play. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's something to be aware of if you plan marathon movie nights. Dolby Vision is another buzzword that usually belongs to high-end home theater gear, and the M2 Pro actually supports it. In a side-by-side comparison of a streaming series that offers both HDR10 and Dolby Vision options, the Dolby Vision version displayed deeper shadows and brighter highlights. That said, you need compatible content and a source that can deliver the signal. Most smartphones and many streaming sticks still output HDR10. So unless you're hooked on the handful of titles that truly use Dolby Vision, you might not see a huge day-to-day benefit. One of the practical strengths that often gets lost in the spec sheet is the optical zoom. The M2 Pro lets you adjust the image size without physically moving the projector, which is a lifesaver when you're stuck with a fixed mount or limited throw distance. I placed it on a low TV stand, set the zoom to 1.2, and still managed a 120-inch image that filled the wall without distortion. The zoom is smooth and motor-driven, so you can fine-tune the frame while a movie is already playing, a small convenience that adds up when you're juggling a cramped apartment layout. On the software side, the Vidaa OS is Hisense's own smart platform, and it comes preloaded with Netflix, YouTube, and a handful of other apps. The interface is simple, with a remote that feels more like a TV remote than a projector controller. You can launch Netflix directly, and the projector will automatically switch to the optimal picture mode for streaming. The downside? The app library is limited compared to a full Android TV box or Roku stick. If you rely on niche streaming services or want to sideload games, you'll quickly find the built-in OS restrictive and may need to add an external dongle. Now, who should actually consider buying this unit? If you're a movie enthusiast who lives in a space where a 70-inch TV feels too dominating, but you still want a picture that feels larger than life, the M2 Pro hits a sweet spot. It's also a solid choice for gamers who enjoy couch coupe sessions. The low input lag mode, which you can enable via the remote, makes fast-paced shooters feel responsive, and the laser's color vibrancy helps spot enemies in darker maps. Families that love weekend binge watching will appreciate the built-in Netflix and the ability to project onto a simple sheet without drilling holes or mounting a ceiling screen. In short, anyone who values a flexible, relatively bright projector that can double as a smart streaming hub will find value here. Conversely, if you're looking for a pure home theater system that can compete with a dedicated 4K HDR TV in a bright,